Today is Memorial Day 2020, and with that I have a special message. The first is to say thank you very much to the fallen, those men and women who sacrificed their lives for us to have our freedom. Welcome, marketing chefs. I've got something truly special cooking in our Omni-Channel oven today. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I want to just share my feelings about what's been going on the past few weeks and what we should do going forward. The first thing that I want to share is that governments mandating the use of this surgical mask are dealing in science fiction, because this mask does not protect you from a virus. The virus particles escape from the left, from the right, from the top, from the bottom. Because it also doesn't fit well, one has the habit of touching their face more often, therefore increasing the chance of them catching a virus. Useless. Mandating this, you guys are crazy. This. Is this a jock strap? I mean, this is useless. This is cloth. Do you know what this protects you from? Nothing. I have asthma. Wearing either of those two masks, breathing in my own CO2 because I'm breathing my own air back at a higher rate than by having fresh air to breathe, actually increases my chance of having an asthma attack. Have you thought about that when you've mandated that for people? And by the way, I have asthma, and I'm not afraid of catching. You know what? Why? Because I have a strong, healthy immune system. And this so-called pandemic is a joke. Not a joke to the people who have lost their lives over it and the families, and I do feel badly for them. The joke is the fact that leaders, and I'm speaking to you, whoever you are, so if you are appointed, elected, took the throne, whatever it might be, if you consider yourself a leader and you're continuing to mandate that your constituents, your subjects, your followers, I don't know, some governments lately have been acting like, they've taken nanny state to a new level. If you're mandating the use of these, then I don't know how I could ever trust you to make a sound decision going forward, because this is insanity. So that's number one. Number two, beyond the fact of you mandating these, I have the right to say no. That's right. I have the right. I don't care what country it is. I have the right to say no to wearing one of those masks. Why? Because that mask endangers my health. So people make the argument, oh, wearing a mask isn't about protecting you, it's about protecting me. Well, you know what? Wearing that mask puts my life in jeopardy. Therefore, I have the right to say no. If you want to wear a mask, you wear a mask. You want to protect yourself and stay home? Guess what? Stay home. So wear a mask or stay home. Let me and let everyone else who wants to live their life. Which now leads me to my third point. Up next in the Marketing Kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen, the Marketing Kitchen. Hi, I'm Ron VINING, your host of Marketing Kitchen TV. Today is Memorial Day 2020, and with that I have a special message. The first is to say thank you very much to the fallen, those men and women who sacrificed their lives for us to have our freedom. Thank you for your service. While I have not fought on the battlefield myself, my grandfather on my mother's side, my grandfather on my father's side, my uncle, and his brother, my father, all sacrificed, and in some cases gave their life to ensure the freedom of not only Americans, but people around the world. Today, we are not free. Why are we not free? Because of a silent enemy? One that has these magical and mystical properties that have become excuses for why your freedom of religion, your freedom of expression, your freedom to have a job, to earn money. If you're a business owner, your business has been taken away. If you are an employee, your employer is pretty much locked out. Why? You can't go to the movies. You can't go to a concert. You can't jog in a park. You can't go to the gym. You can't get your hair cut in some cases. What is this lunacy? So I have a message for the President of the United States, as well as all people who call themselves or consider themselves leaders. The message is simple. You asked us to shelter in place, and we have. Your justification for this was that you did not want hospitals to be overrun. They weren't. You extended the lockdown because you said that you wanted to flatten the curve. The curve has been flattened. The more testing is done, the more we will see just how weak this virus was. Now, if you or someone you know has caught the virus and or has passed away from the virus, my apologies. However, the more data that comes in, that is less and less than what we were led to believe. I strongly believe that we've been lied to. We've been lied to by a number of officials across the globe. And I'm not going to get into why this has happened, but I do know that not only have I suffered, my family has suffered, but you have most likely suffered as well, economically, emotionally, physically. I know of individuals who have been denied health care because they were not classified as having a virus-related ailment. This is ludicrous. I'm a professor. I've been an educator for 25 plus years. I'm also a former elected official who built schools and has worked to enhance education. I've been involved with it almost half of my life. As an educator, and also as somebody who has taught fully online courses for 11 years, I can tell you that education, just by that means, does not work. We have set back an entire generation of students because of this. It's time to let them go back to school. It's time for businesses to reopen. It's time for people to live their lives. And when we talk about living your life, wearing this useless mask, this is useless. This does not protect you. It does not protect me. Wearing this is useless. This does not protect you. This does not protect me. Mandating the use of masks, if they are not an N95 mask, is just lunacy. It's like freeing a slave and then asking them to wear a dog collar to identify that they were one. Are you kidding me? That is oppression. It's not a prescription. And also, the mask, because of the fact that we'll be adjusting them, we're not used to them, and people, oh, you'll get used to it. No, sorry, I have asthma, I don't get used to it. I can't wear one of those for an extended period of time because I'm breathing back my own CO2. It actually brings on an asthma attack. And so I don't want to wear one. And in fact, I'm not going to wear one. And you can fine me, you can arrest me, I don't care. You are putting my life in jeopardy by mandating that I wear that. But not only, so forget about me, it's not about me, it's about you. You deserve the right to go outside, breathe in fresh air, and enjoy life like we had before. And how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do that when we stop practicing fear. Now what happens is people will say the mask isn't for you, the mask is to protect me. Okay, great. If you feel that threatened by this, then guess what? You go wear a mask. Or better yet, why don't you stay home and let me go outside? It's just a matter of choice. But making me live under house arrest doesn't make me happy. As an entrepreneur who has built businesses, I've built businesses, I've hired people, I've trained people, I've sold those businesses. I've been quite successful. And now, what do I have? I'm stuck at home, just like everyone else for the most part. The difference for me, however, is that because I don't have an employer, I don't get a paycheck for being at home. I have to find new ways of coming up with revenue streams. And there's no checks coming from me. There's not a single government on this planet that's written me a check for being an entrepreneur. If I were an employee, I could collect unemployment benefits, but I'm not an employee. And because I'm a small business owner, what, do you want me to take out a loan? I don't take out loans. In fact, the only time I've ever taken out a loan in my life was twice, the 2 homes that I've purchased. I've never ever borrowed money beyond that in my life. Why? Because I don't believe in it. And I'm certainly not going to borrow money to bail out my business because some elected leader who didn't care about me or didn't think about me and the people that I hire and pay and how I contribute to the economy. You didn't care. You just shut everything down. And okay, fine, great, good on you. Now, before this message gets too long, I want to direct this portion specifically to President Donald J. Trump. And the reason, sir, that I am speaking to you right now is because as the leader of the free world, and I don't say that lightly, what you do, what America does, other countries follow. So if Americans are not free, so if we live in a country where the president speaks about freedom and civil rights and equality and those values, but yet governors and mayors are more restrictive than some of the worst dictators across the globe, how do you think those dictators are going to behave with their people? Not so well. And in fact, I've actually seen authoritarian countries extend or afford better rights than these mayors and governors. This message is specifically to you, President Donald J. Trump. I voted for you, and I intend to vote for you again. So maybe you'll say, okay, then I don't need to listen to anything else. Well, no, you do need to listen to this, please. And so with all due respect, I say this to you, sir. You need to reopen America's economy immediately. You need to say no to this. You need to reduce the fear. As long as people are wearing these masks and standing 6 feet apart from each other, we're not Americans anymore. And what happens with America is a mirror for what happens in the rest of the world. I'm sure you're aware of this, but when America takes an action, other countries mirror that action. When other countries see governors and mayors in America acting like tyrants and dictators, what do you think real tyrants and dictators in foreign countries think? They see this as a sign that they can do anything that they want. So when Americans are not free, people living in other countries certainly are subject to greater and greater forms of persecution. So as the leader of America, you are also technically the leader of the world in many respects. So what you do impacts everyone. But let's focus on America for a second. Sir, if I were in your place, and I know those are big shoes to fill, I would mandate that America reopen immediately. And I'll give it 1 more month, okay? And this is what I would do. I would begin to, via executive order, begin to state what has to reopen when. And I applaud you for saying that churches are essential. But what I would like you to take another step. I would like you to tell every single American the following words. They are, if you want to go to work, go to work. If you want to go to the park, go to the park. If you want to go get your hair cut, go get your hair cut. Now, how can those things happen if businesses are closed? Because that's the next thing I want you to do, sir. I want you to declare that any business owner who wants to reopen their business can reopen their business. All you need to do is say, get on TV or on Twitter or wherever you'd like, say, as of today, the economy is reopened. If you have a business, I give you permission to reopen your business. If you're mayor, if you're governor, say no, too bad. If an individual wants to exercise their freedom of religion, if they want to exercise their freedom of just going outside and not wearing a stupid mask, then I want you, Mr. President, to say you don't have to. And this will send a strong signal that we are ready for business. And when America reopens, the world will reopen. This is very important. This is also very important to your re-election, sir. The economy has to get moving. I understand it's great to have the Democrats as a foil, and they certainly are a foil. I'm amazed at how this situation has become politicized, and it shouldn't be. This should really just be about Americans helping Americans coming together, but it's not. Clearly, blue states are refusing to open for one reason and one reason only, because they feel that as long as they're shut down, or the longer it takes for their economies to get churning, less likely it is for you to win your re-election. One could say that I'm politicizing this by saying we need to reopen now to ensure your re-election. Okay, yeah, that's true. But also, as an American, I want the economy in America to reopen, and I want the global economy to reopen because I'm an entrepreneur. So I don't have the luxury of the enormous bank account that the corporations that are open are just banking out of this situation. As a small business owner, this shutdown, this lockdown, would have killed me if I were not a successful entrepreneur prior to this. So I have reserves to last, I don't know, 10 years if necessary, I guess, right? I mean, you never know what's going to come up. But are other people in that same situation? And the answer is no. So there's men and women out there across the globe, but more importantly, because you're the President of the United States, there are Americans right now who are suffering. And they're suffering because you have not yet reopened this economy. And I know you are afraid, you listen to bad data. Fauci, nice guy, right? He reminds me of my grandfather. Yeah, he seems believable, but he's not. No offense. He needs to go. You need a new healthcare team, and your economic team needs to be given the green light to kickstart this economy. I intend on voting for you in November of 2020 because I believe that you are the only person who will hold China accountable. I believe that you're the only person who will ensure that our military is prepared for the next type of war that is fast coming. I believe that you are the only person who will try, at least, to bring back to America pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, building of steel. You were criticized 2 years ago about when you wanted to bring steel back to America. I hope Americans appreciate today how essential that is. If we ever were to get into a war, I don't think that China is going to be supplying us with the steel necessary to build ships, tanks, aircraft, and missiles. And when it comes to technology, I want those semiconductor companies where? I want them located in the United States so that we have them for our smart weaponry. It just makes sense. And of course, when a pandemic happens or any type of situation, again, these are useless, but I'd rather see them made in America than made in China. You are the only person who I have faith in that will bring those type of jobs back to the United States. And under the Trump economy, I got rich, I'll be honest. And I need you to be reelected so that that money grows. Under your opponent, whoever that might be, because that's not certain yet, I don't want to see my money go down. I want to see it go up. So Mr. President, either by executive order or just by using the bully pulpit of the White House, of the power of the presidency, I want you to do the following. Please, it's a request. I want you to get on TV or Twitter or Facebook Live or all of those. And what I'd like you to do is I would like you to tell the American people that they can reopen the economy today. Today, Memorial Day, where we celebrate freedom. Freedom bought with a price. We've paid the price already of this virus. Now is the time for us to get back to life, get back to living. So I ask you, Mr. President, to announce that America reopens today. Tell citizens to reopen their business to go outside and live life normally. Anyone who feels that insecure or unsafe, they should stay at home. They can remain in a voluntary lockdown, but everybody else can go out and live. Even if opening that business or going outside and enjoying yourself, swimming, swimming in salt water, which by the way has medicinal properties. If people want to do that, then they should have the right to do it. And so you, sir, by telling the American people to get out and live their lives, for business owners to get out and reopen their businesses, for things to return back to normal, either by executive order, proclamation, bully pulpit of the presidency. If you make that order, people will go out and people will live their lives. Governors will have to stand down. Mayors will have to stand down. If they don't, then I call upon Attorney General Barr to prosecute them. It's about time that we get back to freedom of religion, public gatherings, education, economic livelihood, life itself. I want to go to a coffee shop and not wear a mask. I want to go to a restaurant and not have takeout. I want to actually sit there and eat. And I don't want this plexiglass booth around me. Are you kidding me? Isn't now the time that you come out with a policy based on science fact, not based on science fiction? The science fiction that Dr. Fauci and others have been lying to us about for the past 3 months, telling us, oh no, you don't need to wear a mask, and then saying we do. Oh, you need to wash your hands vigorously. Oh no, the virus isn't transferred that way. Oh, you need to do, come on. Dr. Fauci, you said that we should be in an indefinite lockdown for at least 12 months. Then you come on TV and you say that extended lockdowns have negative effects on all the things that I've mentioned already. Come on. What I ask is that you open and say, our doors are open. If you want to wear a mask, you can. If you don't want to wear one, you don't have to. Why? Because together as Americans, we will come together as a community. The data has shown that this virus, the more people who are tested, the more have it, it means that the mortality rate continues to go down. I know that's no consolation for people who have had family members, friends, coworkers, who have died of the virus. However, people die every day. There are so many things that actually kill more people, more Americans, more people around the globe than this virus ever will. But we don't outlaw them. We don't shelter in place because of them. We don't live in fear because of them. So please, on this Memorial Day 2020, reopen the economy. What America does, the rest of the world will follow. Mr. President, please open the United States immediately. I beg you. Mr. President, thank you very much for your time. Anyone else watching this video, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments below. And you know what? If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. Because I'm a common sense libertarian. And I believe that the best government is one that you don't know is there. Thank you very much for listening on this Memorial Day. And let me take this moment to thank all of those that sacrificed and gave their lives for our country. That's actually the point of this message. My grandfather sacrificed in World War II for freedom of religion, of conversation, of discussion, the ability to protest, the ability to have a different opinion. Fought against the tyranny of the Nazis and the Japanese so that the world would be free. The world is not free today. My father gave his life in the Vietnam War for the very same ideals. We can debate the points of World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, as well as Afghanistan and Iraq. And the point is, we fought to protect the very same freedoms that have now been stripped from Americans as well as global citizens. And I think it's very important that we don't allow this situation to, without a shot being fired, take away the sacrifice that our veterans made. So on this Memorial Day, I say, reopen the economy and reopen it today. Thank you, and God bless America. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, there's always fresh content simmering on our storytelling stovetop. So whatever happens in this kitchen shouldn't stay in this marketing kitchen. I'm Ron Vining, your host, reminding you to invite your family and friends to the next episode of Marketing Kitchen TV.